fill the sink with a little bit of cold water. If you get warm water on there, these little tiny berries are going to pop off really fast, and you don't want that. You really don't. You may think you do, but you don't. It's easier to leave them on the stem for now while you're cleaning them. And you're getting all of the little tiny bugs, which aren't very many, and all the little leaves off of them. Now, as far as bugs are concerned, you're not going to find many. The reason why you're not going to find many is because this particular berry is resistant to insects. There's a couple of insects that will show up, but not very many. You will not find worms in these berries. Worms cannot stand this berry. Remember, this berry is the flavor between a tomato and a sweet wine grape. Once you get them in the cold water, just swish them around a little bit. Let their stems stick out of the water. You do not want to drown them. And you just do that until you have them all cleaned and put into clean, fresh bags, ready for you to pluck them. Yes, you will be plucking these. Trust me, it's worth it. Once you have swished them around a little bit in the water, you're ready now to put them in a bag. Swish each one of them around again and lightly get the water off of them. And just set them with the stems up in the bag. And just repeat this process until you're done. So even if you're up until wee hours of the night pulling these little itty-bitty berries off the stems, it is well worth it. And you'll be glad you did. Okay, this recipe with elderberries needs a jelly bag. This is the next process. I made this one from some materials, and it is recyclable, cleanable, and so that's why I used this material for jelly bag purposes. After you have run your berries through a food processor, pulled the juice and the berries out of that food processor, you can now squeeze it through the jelly bag. And so that's what this process is at this time. So you just take the berries out of there, juice and all. Even pour whatever juice you have in there in the jelly bag. You want to do it a little bit at a time. You can either use your hands or you can wear gloves. So this is a lot. That's too much to squeeze, so pull some of that out. I can already see it coming out, and I can smell it. It is good. Elderberry is so good. You can wear gloves or just use your bare hands. It's up to you. This will stain temporarily, but you can wash it out. Twist the top, and look at all that beautiful juice. Woohoo! That is so awesome. Look at that. And then on the jelly bag for elderberry or any other berry like this, you just squeeze the bag itself. As you're squeezing the top, it takes a little bit of time to get this done, so don't be upset. And just take your time at it. And it's kind of like just milking a cow, but you don't have to pull, down and push up. You just have to squeeze downward. And then let the bag go. Do this a little bit with the bag, just to release any more of the juices. And turn it again and squeeze again. Look at all that. Still coming out. And you do that with this batch and the whole entire batch until you have at least a couple of cups. 3 is ideal. 3 cups of this liquid is ideal for jelly. If you're following the small box of pectin recipe. Look at that. Elderberry is time sensitive both on the tree or the bush as well as after the processing of pulling the berries, running it through the food processor, and squeezing it through the bag. The time that you have for elderberry is very short, so you have to hurry. Alright, now we have entered this into a nice clean pan. Make sure the pan is completely dry, no extra liquids from any cleaners or from just standard water. Once you've done that, you want to begin the heating process for your berries. You do want to follow the instructions on the package or the instruction pamphlet that comes with the your particular type of pectin that you're going to go ahead and use to make this a jelly or a jam. This particular process is for jelly because it is using the liquid, not the pulp. You can use the pulp if you want to, but today I'm making jelly. I've already measured these so many times I already know. Here, let me just show you in here then. Because I have a small amount this time, I don't have the full 3 cups, I have to be sure I do my ratios correct for when I'm preparing this. It says to go ahead and add a little bit of water. Follow your instructions again while this is heating up. What the water does is it reduces some of the acidic properties of the berry. Normally during the preserving process, acid is good and you don't have that problem. However, when you're working with something that is a bittersweet, a tannic acid sweet, grapes, jellies, berries, apples, anything that has an acid to it, you're dealing with something that's a different property than vegetables. Even though tomato is a fruit, it is considered a vegetable also with the acidic properties that it has. Canning tomatoes is a breeze compared to making jelly or jam. Now on this particular jelly that I'm making, I did the process backwards. As you're reading, you'll see. And the reason why I did that is because of the berry that I'm using. It is so volatile that it has to be processed quickly. You can keep elderberry at a temperature very cold, cold enough that it's almost freezing but not freezing, and it will last a lot longer. But I don't suggest that you do that. At this point you can see some smoking going on. That's because of the type of berry that it is. Just reduce the heat. You can smell the flavor of the berry and go in a figure 8 for anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. The instructions probably tell you 10 minutes. The reason why is that breaks down the berries for you to be able to run the juice off of them. Since I did it the reverse, because of the purposes I've already said, I'm probably going to go 5 to 7 minutes on this liquid so I don't lose the flavor of the berry. Once you get the smoking down a little bit so you can smell it, to make sure the alcohols have been released from it if you've had it sit for more than 1 day. Then you can turn it to high to bring it to a boil. It must be at boiling temperature, and then bring it down to a simmer in order for it to be processed correctly so that you have killed all the germs that you possibly can that could be in it. Again, this is a tannic acid berry. You're not going to find much. Once you've brought it to a boil, it's ready to add the sugar in to reduce the heat to a simmer. Again, I've pre-measured this before, so it's a smaller amount. I know how much sugar it needs, and it's a little bit different than what the recipe calls for. It's broken down to the amounts. When you add sugar, of course, the boiling will either reduce or cease. You just adjust your heat. Making good jam or jelly takes a little bit of time. Remember, your boiling time is what you're counting the minutes on. It has to be at boiling point. So whenever you add sugar and it begins to dull on the simmering or the boil, you can't count the minutes that it takes to bring it back to a boil. You have to count the minutes as boiling. Wanted to give you that little tip there as we're going along here. And with that, I have added just enough sugar, and it is ready now for the right amount of pectin for the amount of jelly that I have here. And now that I have added the pectin, the instructions say to boil for 1 minute. Since we've done all the other processes, it makes it just a little easier to carry that process through and get it into the nice clean jars, put a lid on it, put a ring on it, and let it sit. Oh, it is so good, and I'm looking forward to having some elderberry jelly. All right, time to pour. Woohoo! This is hot. Do not burn yourself. You want to leave a little bit of room at the edge of the ring. It's got to be able to breathe just a little bit. That one runs out, put another one in. You'll have more jars if you have more fruit. I just had a remnant of fruit, so I have just a little bit here. Now the other thing you want to practice is this particular berry. You don't want to lose any of it. It is so good and so hard working to get it that waste not, want not. That's what Mama Lynn Stolens used to tell me. Waste not, want not, honey. Okay, Mama. Scrape as much as you can out of your pan. There's a lot more in there. When preserving to make the seal, you want to make sure that you clean your lids in hot water. This has to be boiling. You put your lids in there, make sure they're hot. If you do this first before you pour, you're doing great. I only have one pan right now because I'm on location on the fly. So it's kind of like hurry, hurry, hurry. I'm on a time frame. They're hot, hot, hot. Hot, hot, hot. Make sure the rings are clean before you put them on. Hot, 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 hot. And, yes. Good Medici. They used to make cough drops using elderberry. They probably still do. Let those sit, let them cool by themselves. Don't bother them. And it's a long process too. It'll take about anywhere from 3 to 5, maybe 6 hours. I usually let them sit overnight, so I'm not stressing about it. Because it's so good, you just want to have it now. Now, if you want to have it now, you can. You can make a syrup, of which I did. And this syrup is oh so good. Oh my gosh, it is so good. You can actually put it on ice cream. That's really good, especially on vanilla bean. Nice creamy white vanilla bean. Oh yeah. And then you can also take this very same thing, mix it with your candies that you buy in the store, and put it in your molds. Mix this in a little bit while you have this in the pan. Mix this in with it. Oh, so nice. Put it in the mold, and when it congeals, it hardens a little bit like semi-hard candy. And so it's really, really awesome. These, of course, are for Halloween. I have little Halloween things in my chemistry for alchemy cookies. Not really alchemy cookies, but, you know, Halloween dress-up stuff. A skull, of course. And then this one I found, and I'm going to use it. I'm going to see if it makes a little, you know, different faces, whatever. So anyway, yeah, adding this, I've tried it already, and wow, the candies were great. So, and you can use this on pancakes, of course, the traditional.